Yep. Hi, I'm Sam from Rosnay. Welcome to our cellar door. I'm going to take you through our wines. And I'll begin with our sparkling wine, the sparkling Chardonnay. It's refreshing, clean, early harvested Chardonnay, flavours of green apples, been organic since the vines were planted, using organic raw sugar, second fermentation to make the bubbles inside a pressure tank. Similar to champagne, but Australian style is more fruity. With the new label, Sparkling Rosé. This has only just been bottled. Maintain the bubbles, naturally fermented, flavours of rose water, strawberries, very refreshing, organic, sparkling. This is the most famous variety from the Cowra wine region. There's vineyards in this wine region which are just Chardonnay. Cowra, the Chardonnay, is very nice and fruity style, but it's also very adaptable to different winemaking. It has a little bit of oak, but is very much a unwooded Chardonnay style, clean style. Semillon is much less fruity than the Chardonnay. It has a more acidity, mineral character. It is now 4 years old. It's developing typical mature Semillon flavours which are delicious. A bit like a cheese. And this is our signature white wine. It's the Blanc, because my mum is French, we use the French word for white. 60% Chardonnay, 40% Semillon. And it has a balance between the fruit of the Chardonnay, the rich, fruity Chardonnay flavour, and the clean, acidic, minerally Semillon flavour. Our aim is to make a balanced white wine. Next we have the Rosnay red wines. First of all, the Shiraz. This is our main variety that we have planted at Rosnay. It's a total of 8 hectares. We grow the Shiraz on the high part of the hill where the soil is very rocky and dry. It's a concentrated flavour, but it has soft tannin. It's not too heavy. Our oldest wine that we have available, and it was produced during the drought when it was very dry, so it has intense flavour. It's a very nice soft Shiraz. The Cabernet Sauvignon, this was 2012. This was a very mild year. We had rain, not too hot, and the flavour is not too strong. This wine has won 2 trophies in the Cowra Wine Show for the best local red wine, and is one of my personal favourites. Lots of dark fruit flavour, fine tannin, not too big, strong tannin. Lastly is our most popular red wine. Similar to the Blanc in the white wine, we're trying to make the best red wine we can by blending the spicy, peppery flavour of Shiraz, the rich, fruity flavour of the Cabernet Sauvignon, soft, smooth flavour of the Merlot. And this 2011 vintage is very earthy, and it's a very good food wine, good for restaurants. So these wines are all organic wine. Organic wine means they've been grown without any chemicals. The vines were planted with no artificial fertiliser. We used compost, worm juice, seaweed, fish fertiliser, rocks, just pure crushed rock, like basalt volcanic rock. Chemical-free farming and very low sulphur in the winemaking. The sulphur helps to preserve the wine so it can reach its full potential over time, and it's very traditional winemaking. These wines are organic and preservative free. They're called the Freedom range because they're preservative free, no fining agents either, so no milk or egg additives, so they're vegan friendly wines. First one is a Chardonnay, very clean, unwooded Chardonnay with no added sulfites. The main difference is this is going to develop aged Chardonnay flavour in about 12 months. It's just going to age faster. So we aim to sell the wine within 12 months. The other one that we do is a Shiraz Mourvèdre blend. Mourvèdre is a Southern Rhone variety that we planted about 8 years ago, specifically to blend with Shiraz. Really improves the flavour of Shiraz. And the way this wine is made is mostly free run, so not too much skin tannin, mostly just juicy free run juice that runs out of the grapes without pressing in the wine press. So it's made for drinking when it's young. And this one we aim to sell all the wine within 2 years because it does preserve better than white wine. Both of these wines, organic, chemical free, preservative free and vegan friendly wines, the Freedom range. This wine is dedicated to my mother's mother, which is my grandmother, who migrated to Australia from France in the 1970s. And she was an amazing woman, so full of life. The photo on the label shows her when she was a rally car driver in Switzerland. Chardonnay Semillon, which we've done using oak barrels. So it's a reserve style. It has more complex textural palate. It is aromatic, a little bit of oak aroma there, mainly more texture. This has got more lees contact. So stirring of the wine in the tank to give it a mouthfeel texture, which is very nice. And the other ancestor wine is the Grand Père, which is named after my mother's grandfather. So my grandmother's father, Alberic Dulong de Rosnay, and he actually had a vineyard in France in the Beaujolais region near Lyon and grew grapes, made his own wine. This has been made in large barrels for the same reason, so the large barrels to give it more texture and structure. It's got more tannin. This is made from a higher percentage of pressings, so there's more tannin from the skin. It's a bigger red wine. So these are our first two garage wines. Garage wine being a craft wine project that we've had here, making wine on a very small scale and experimenting with new techniques in the shed here using our small equipment. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon 2014, and it's very different to other Cabernet. It was cold fermented, a bit like a white wine. So fermentation took 4 weeks and was very cold temperature, and so we preserved more aroma and soft flavour than a normal Cabernet. And this won the Organic Wine Show in Adelaide in 2016. The second one we did is a 2015 Shiraz, Garage Wine number 2, which was our first attempt at making a wine with wild yeast. So we did not add any cultured wine yeast. We just used the naturally occurring Saccharomyces from the grapes. And the style is a little bit more unusual. It's not as clean, it's more earthy than a normal Shiraz. And we also experimented with no malolactic fermentation, so it's also a little bit like a white wine made with no secondary fermentation. Almost all red wine has a secondary fermentation, but in this one we didn't do it. It was a very popular wine and it's all sold out. This is only a few bottles of this one left. Singapore style.
Tricky.
Cheers!
We could have a fan on the wall.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
You're very good health indeed.
Good health.